Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the real reason Shannon Sharpe and Wright secretly fear the Brooklyn Nets. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, check out our Dreamerspro Max online sports community. It's a platform we created. It's a place where you go to start basketball discussions, chat live during games, go live with us after games, consume original content that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else, and do so many other cool things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below and get 7 days of free access. I'm sure you guys are going to love it. For the people that are in there already, you guys can attest to that we're all having a lot of fun in the platform. So anyway, let me get into this topic here, because I actually sat down and watched a full Nets game that wasn't involving the Clippers. I'm actually paying attention to the Nets more, so when I come on here and start talking about them, I actually feel a lot more comfortable talking about them. So we all know that the Nets are widely considered, at least by odds makers and others, to be the favorites to win a title. With a healthy Lakers or not, most people are picking them to win the title because of their firepower, and that's a damn good reason, right? That's a damn good reason. Now let me go through some of the statistics of the Avengers, as I call them. This is not a basketball team, man. This is the Avengers right here we talking about. The Nets have the number one offense as far as scoring in the NBA. They're scoring 120 points per game, right? But it doesn't stop there. The foolishness continues. Alongside being the number one scoring team in the NBA, they're also the number one team in field goal percentage in the NBA, shooting 50% from the field. Okay, just guys, let's put that into context. They don't have a Shaq on their team. They don't have an Akeem Olajuwon. They don't have a Joel Embiid. This is a jump shooting and driving team. Their big three is comprised of perimeter players and is shooting 50% from the field. That is whatever. Then they have the number two team in the NBA as far as three-point shooting percentage behind the Clippers. They're shooting 39.9% from the three-point line. That's the Brooklyn Nets. They have three stars. Not three stars. I didn't mean to say that. They have three Avengers, okay, that are averaging at least 25 points per game individually. Guys, let me tell you something. That means on a given night, on any blessed night, the Brooklyn Nets big three can either go for 75 to damn near 100 or 90 points on any given night. There is no team in the NBA that can say that they have a three-headed monster that can do that. There's no team in basketball that has that. That's why this team is so scary. So, going back to last night's game. Before last night's game, Kyrie Irving was listed as he was going to be absent for the next 3 games, including last night's game, right, for family reasons. Now, with Kyrie Irving being out of the lineup, the Nets marched into Portland and beat the Portland Trailblazers without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. What? The Portland Trailblazers that had Carmelo Anthony, Damian Lillard, and CJ McCollum all available, Gary Trent Jr., all of these guys were available, and the Brooklyn Nets walked into Portland and beat that team. And at the end of the game, I heard that I think it's been like something 5 or 10 years or something that the Brooklyn Nets have beaten the Portland Trailblazers consecutively. And what they did was quite simple. They simply outscored the Blazers. They weren't playing great defense. I was watching that game. They were not playing great defense, and their defense is not very good, to be quite honest with you. Although they played defense at certain moments, which seems to be what they're leaning on. They didn't play great defense throughout the game, but they played defense in key moments. But nevertheless, they still went in there and got a balanced attack from Green, Joe Harris, Brown, and James Harden, and still won that game. Now, let me say this, because it doesn't end there with this team. James Harden finished the game with 25 points and 17 assists. Where they do that at? Where do you find these dudes from? 17 assists without Kyrie without KD, this means that James Harden can play with anybody and still have a chance to win games. The only player I can think of that can pull that off on a consistent basis is LeBron James. LeBron is the only guy I know that can go out there and just play with a bunch of jags, just a bunch of guys, and have a chance to win the game, like, and be competitive, right? He's probably the only guy I can think of that can do that. And James Harden went out there with this team, just him, Blake Griffin, and others, and went out there and dropped 17 assists and won the game in Portland. And I said to myself, given the fact that they won that game, I'm saying to myself, not only does this team have the number 1 and number 2 most dangerous offensive players in basketball in James Harden and Kevin Durant, because I don't even think it's a question, but they also have the best point guard in the NBA in James Harden, who's averaging over 11 assists per game. And you say to yourself, how is this even possible? How do they manage to pull this thing off without Kyrie Irving? And then now, I see the reason why Nick Wright and these guys are saying all of it. Let me tell you something about Nick Wright and his takes. There's a reason why, what do you call him? Kevin Durant came out and said the fanboys in the media. And if you guys have been watching Undisputed, you notice now that, what's his name? Skip Bayless has been throwing that term out at Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe gets really uncomfortable when Skip Bayless calls him the fanboy, right? Because he's calling him exactly what he is. And Shannon Sharpe be looking at him like, no, I'm not. But Shannon Sharpe cannot say, no, he's not. Because even he himself knows that he's not even a fanboy. He's like, I don't even know what Shannon Sharpe. But anyway, you listen to Nick Wright. Nick Wright is there talking about their defense. I was talking about the Brooklyn Nets defense early in the season. I was saying that I don't know, I don't trust this defense. I don't know just how good this defense could be. I was the one saying this. But what I didn't expect was how their big three would gel on the offensive side of the floor. Guys, I didn't see it working. I thought there were going to be some issues with Kyrie. Kyrie kind of feeling like the odd man out, given the fact that James Harden and Kevin Durant were going to be the number 1 and number 2. I kind of felt that was kind of the thing that was going on, that was going to happen. But clearly that hasn't happened. They flourished together with, like, it's incredible. So you listen to Nick Wright. Nick Wright is there talking about the worst ranked defense. Guy, I hear you. But where have you ever seen an offense like this? This team is an anomaly. I've never seen a team like this. Nick Wright, all that stuff he's saying, trying to be sarcastic. You know, Nick Wright likes to be sarcastic. See, take all of that, just go pack it in the closet somewhere. Forget about what Nick Wright is saying. These dudes know that this Brooklyn Nets team are no joke. Shannon Sharpe knows that. He knows that. He knows that the Lakers can't score with this team. The Brooklyn Nets are not trying to defend you. That's not their mode of operation. That's not what they plan on doing. The Brooklyn Nets say, their basic philosophy is this: we're going to blow the doors off of you. And if you don't want that to happen, you're going to have to outscore us. And who's the team in the NBA that can outscore the Brooklyn Nets? The only team I give a shot are the Clippers, who have the number 1 3-point shooting team in the NBA, and maybe their 3-pointers can keep them in the game. Lakers can't score with this team. Now, Lakers are very good defensively. There's no there's no defense for KD. There's no defense. There's no defensive scheme for KD. They were talking about James Harden last night. James Harden, they said he's one of the easiest players to game plan for and one of the hardest players to stop because you know exactly what he's going to do, and yet you can't stop him. I'm not even going to mention Kyrie. There's no stopping this team. You can play defense on this team for 47 minutes. Great defense. And in the last minute, they'll just blow the doors off you, like you saw what happened with the Clippers and then when they met up the first time. They played perfect defense on this team up until the last 2.5 minutes of that game. Big three got loose. Boom, 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 boom. Game over. It was over. So if their plan is to somehow play defense on this team, yo, good luck. And the scary thing about it is, they beating dudes with their big three, without their big three, their number 1. Like, it's crazy. That's why James Harden called it scary. Bro, it's scary hours with this team. So, what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think that Shannon Sharpe and Nick Wright are fair in this team, or do you think they're just there, having a lot of false bravado, just up there trying to be confident when they know in reality this team ain't nothing to play with? Or whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, it's your Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.